Hey folks, Gary here, doing the daily Bible reading for Friday. Thanks, Cole, for that little bump. Here's Cole the Bible dog, hanging out here, you big goof. Hey, today we're looking at Psalm 105, like we have been for a while now. And the cool thing about Psalm 105 is the psalmist is recounting all the times that God has been amazing for Israel. Well, not all the times, but some specific times that God has been really amazing, remembering these great things that God has done. And so today we're looking at verses 20 to 22. And let's read it here. It says this: the king sent and released him. Well, okay, who's the king and who's he releasing? Well, the king is actually Pharaoh. That's who the king is, and he's releasing Joseph. And you probably remember Joseph if you went to Sunday school when you were a kid. Joseph is the little dude who gets this dream from God, gets this vision from God that he's going to rule and be the main authority over everybody. He tells his brothers don't like it. Obviously, they're older brothers, like, you're not ruling us. And so they sell him into slavery. So he actually becomes a slave instead of a ruler. Does that for quite some time. Then he actually ends up in prison. So he gets even worse. Now he's in prison, and he's in prison for quite some time. And you've got to imagine at some point in time, Joseph thinks, this ain't never going to happen. But God is God. And it says, right? So Pharaoh sent and released him. The ruler of the peoples set him free. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his possessions, to bind his princes at his pleasure. That's a lot of authority. Joseph is like second in command of Egypt, just under Pharaoh. He goes from being a prisoner to being second in command. Like, that is just like mind-blowing. To bind his princes at his pleasure and to teach his elders wisdom. Here's the thing about it. God is putting Joseph into a place where God can really, really use him to benefit Israel, to benefit the Hebrews, also to benefit Egypt. It's God's plan to use him powerfully so that people will know who God is. You might be going through a real hard time. Don't sweat it. Understand that God may be using that at that moment to put you into a place where he's going to use you powerfully. It's God's desire to use everyone, not in a negative way, but that you would find your purpose and that you would be used well for the Lord to bless others and to be a blessing to those around you. And that's a real cool thing, and it's a real blessing to us too. So don't look at the negative stuff going on and saying, oh my goodness. Look into it and say, God, what are you refining out of me? How are you making me so I can be used by you well? Because it's his desire to use you well.